Hey guys, so I thought I'd talk about the Palestinian-Israeli issue. Now, it's been a long time since Palestine and Israel have had this problem. It's been almost 40 years, and through this period of time, they've had a lot of attempts at, peace negotiations. You can look at Carter, you can look at almost all our presidents have tried it at one point or another, and they've never really worked, okay? Well, the Palestinians decided to try something new. They decided to go the Israeli route for, argument's sake, which is basically they're going to go get recognized by the UN. Now, this is probably going to happen on September 20th or around there. Sometimes the UN works a little bit slower, sometimes it's faster, it's going to be around there. And what's going to happen is they're going to vote on whether they should be a state in the assembly, which they'll pass probably instantly. There's not much contest there. Palestine's going to be recognized as a state there. But then it moves to the Security Council, and we're probably going to veto it, us being the United States. And we can debate whether we should or shouldn't. I'll get to that in a minute. But even if they do end up getting blocked in the Security Council, they end up getting some special rights or privileges, I guess. Basically, they go from where they're at, and they actually get to give more speeches, and overall, it's supposed to demonstrate that Israel's kind of in a weakened position internationally. Which, if you've been following this issue, you'd kind of agree with that. They just don't have as much support, even that they had like 10 years ago. They just don't. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Now, there's been attempts to prevent this throughout the summer because they, Israel, the United States, other friends of Israel saw this coming. So they tried to prevent it. Now the United States, for example, said, hey, we're going to try a new peace, contract thing with you and Israel. You guys will negotiate a peace treaty, and we'll be there too. Kind of like Camp David, all the other ones. And basically what they said is, no, it hasn't worked. It doesn't work. We're going to go this route, is what Palestine said to them. I'm paraphrasing. They don't talk like me. But then the other thing they did is they threatened to cut off aid. Now, you may not know this, but Israel actually does give a sizable amount of aid. And one thing international countries do when another country's not doing what they want is oftentimes if you're giving aid, you stop it to demonstrate your dissatisfaction and to put pressure on the government to rethink their policy. You see? So Israel's kind of doing that right now. They threaten that. The United States also threaten that, but not as strongly. We'll see if either of these pan out. Oftentimes you threaten this and you don't do it. So we'll see. The other thing that's happening internationally is the relationship, while we're still on Israel, the relationship between Turkey, which was one of Israel's biggest friends in the region. Do you remember the flotilla operation a couple of years? Well, I think it was 2010. And a bunch of Turkish people got shot, right? And you can debate whether they deserved it or not. I don't want to get into that. But either way, it pissed off a lot of people, the Turkish government. So they basically cut relations with them significantly, and they've downplayed their relationship. And also, they've been hinting that they're actually going to start searching Israeli ships that go through the area. Which, that's probably just bullshit. But we'll see if they actually try that. Frankly, I'd be surprised if they did that. That just sounds like hyperbole to me. Just a bunch of people talking. So, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with the Palestinian-Israeli process. What's interesting is that I think that it definitely demonstrates the weakening place that Israel has on the international community, that they'd even have this vote, and the fact that the United States was unable to prevent this vote from probably coming to the floor of the UN. But having said that, we'll see what happens. I'm no psychic, watch it. Everything I said is not going to come true. But it seems definitely like, frankly, the rest of the world, I think that the position Israel's in is weakened, not only from this outside international position, but also within the state the Western media for some reason doesn't usually report this, But if you check out international sources, even like the BBC, they've been reporting that there's been actual widespread protest in Israel, not over the Palestinian issue evidently, but over housing. Housing was free in Israel for a long period of time because when Israel was established, basically to bring more people in, they basically made the housing free or at serious reduced prices. Well, they decided to end that. You know, everybody that's going to be an Israeli citizens there kind of makes sense, right? Well, a lot of these people want to still pay low taxes, so they're kind of pissed about that. And they basically got angry enough that a lot of them are just camping out in the streets. And they've had massive protests, some of the biggest ones ever in Israel, which, you know, what the biggest protest in, you know, Spokane, Washington, you know, does that mean anything? Well, evidently in Israel, they have big protests on occasion. So it evidently they were substantial. So you see kind of an erosion within the government there. Now, is all this what's the point of all this? I'm just saying that it's basically Israel's in a tougher position than I think it's been in quite some time, especially if, on the international level that they actually are going to have this vote. Anyway, I'm kind of just repeating myself at this point. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I just wanted to get you that information because with the 9/11 anniversary, you know, there's kind of a news blackout, you know, but I figured that this is information that you should probably hear before, you know, everything kind of just gets dominated by 9/11, which is probably, it should. I'm not saying that it shouldn't. You know, I mean, it's been 10 years basically defined by this one event. You know, it deserves some special coverage. And you know, that's basically all I'm going to say. My heart goes out to the families. I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys have a great day. Subscribe, comment, rate. I won't be here for the next probably 5 days, so if I don't make a video and I don't respond to your comments, I'm gone. I'm going to be sailing, trying to make some money. So, yeah. I hope you guys have a good week. I guess it's not really a good day. I guess it's a good 5 days, which is almost a week. So, yeah, have a great day. Bye.